Got back to the meet here. It's all safe and sound. Doesn't look like anything's bothered it. Sometimes wonder if a bear's gonna get on it or anything, but last year I had a quarter and some neck meat stoled from me by a bear in Idaho. Anyway, get the XO all loaded up here and head back down the hill and get her done. So what I'm doing here is boning out this ham, and we want to leave it in as big of a chunk as we can. So we cut it right up here at the knuckle, and we work our way down, and we separate right through here. There's a little muscle separation here. You can see the silver skin. You just follow that little line, and then we're going to carve it off the bone, little by little, all the way down to the hip socket. We're going to take that one big piece with only one big split in the middle of it. That way we have less waste when we go to cut the meat up. And we'll peel off the hock up there, throw it in the bag, and away we go. All right, here's what it looks like. We'll have to pick off a little bit more of that meat before we toss it to the birds, but you get the idea. Saved ourselves, I don't know, 10 pounds maybe of weight. You see what we're doing here, you kind of can follow some of the lines in the meat along the joints. You can let your knife do the feeling for you as well. You can kind of feel the bone in there. See all these little lines here. Those are your separations of the muscle groups, and they'll separate there by the joints as well. So we're going to peel this away little by little from the bone. We're going to keep it in the bag. That way when we're brushing against the tree, we're not getting a bunch of bark and stuff on our meat. So we'll just inch that stuff away little by little, and I'll leave the shoulder blade in it, but that leg bone's coming off. That way I don't have to open up too much of the muscle groups. We'll keep just the air to this outside hard skin part. That way you have less waste when you go to cut it up. And that's what it's all about. Less waste. So if you see right there, you can see all that connective tissue. We're going to cut right down through that, right to the bone. And then with the least amount of cuts, try to separate that bone from the meat and keep it nice and clean. All right, so we've peeled this meat right down this leg bone here, right down here to this socket. So right here and down is the shoulder blade. So we're going to keep that in the meat. We're going to separate this socket and all the little connective tissues, and we're going to have one big old chunk of meat with a little bit of bone in there. So, and that shoulder blade's not real heavy, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so that's what that joint looks like once you separate it. Pick a little bit of that meat off of there, peel off this hock, and head down the hill. All right, we got that all taken apart on the XO. Probably going to put both those bags of meat in one bag and then cinch her down tight and then head out. Okay, I put both quarters boned out in one meat bag all together. I kept the front shoulder in its own meat bag, twisted it up to give it some shape, nice and tight. Twisted this bag up nice and tight, give it some shape. So now we'll get this thing strapped in on the XO and head up the hill. Okay, we got the underneath straps strapped down in a kind of a cross hatch there. Put the bag up and strap on the other parts. Okay, I got it all loaded, all buckled down, latched down tight, and ready to go up the hill here a little ways, and then out the long ridge, drop down, hit the trail, and back to the truck.